PepsiCo is pushing to make its most popular snacks a little healthier. Right now, the company is reworking the recipes of snacks like Cheetos and Doritos to ditch the artificial dyes and instead use vegetables and spices to give the chips their iconic colors. Instead of things like red number 40 or yellow number 5 and 6, these chips will now be colored by things like beets, radishes, paprika, and turmeric.
Yeah, that's right. And the push to phase out artificial coloring out of foods is jumpstarting a nationwide conversation about the things that are actually in the food we buy, maybe without even knowing it. So to get a better picture of the situation, 9 News health expert Dr. Paul Coley is joining us right now. Dr. Coley, good morning. Thank you for talking about this.
Good morning. A conversation that's long overdue, in my opinion.
And you know, we were saying that a lot of people, because they see certain words like organic or fresh, they think that must be healthy. But then you actually read the label and there are plenty of things in there that actually are deceiving.
Yes, oftentimes actually, as you mentioned, a lot of the reds, the yellows, the blues, and sometimes they'll even sneak in something that says color added for flavor or color added for appearance in this fine print there.
Or what do you always say? Natural.
Oh yeah, it says natural flavors. And I'm like, oh.
Well, what are the natural flavors?
Well, so flavor is different from color, and that's where it gets tricky because it could be a natural flavor, but they still add an artificial color because color has sort of two purposes in food. One is marketing, right? When you give little kids a cereal, you want it to be brightly colored. When you're eating your Cheetos, you want them to be spicy, hot red. And your Cheez-Its, you want them to be yellow. And so part of that is marketing. Part of that is actually the taste. So if you think about how we experience food, we use our sight as a way to process our taste. I actually went to a restaurant where we were dining in the dark. It was pitch black.
Weird.
Yeah.
What was that
It was in
like?
San Francisco. It's called opaque. It heightens your sense of taste, but it takes away your vision, so it changes your sensory experience. So if you don't have colored food, the food might actually taste different.
Oh my
Weird.
gosh. Why not just get away from colors entirely?
I think that that's the main reason is because people are concerned that it'll change the marketing. Obviously, you're less likely to buy a kind of a neutral colored or white colored Cheeto than you are a spicy hot red one, and because it might change the way that you experience the food.
So then what are your alternatives to these colors and
So we
dyes?
talked about these natural colors
Right.
like vegetables and maybe using turmeric and spices. But here's the challenge with those. Number one, each of those has their own flavor. So you're actually going to change the taste of the product if you add natural colors to it instead
Right.
of the real ones. Second, they're sensitive to light and oxygen. So think about opening up a bag of Doritos, putting it in your pantry, and actually having the taste of the Doritos evolve or change over time. And certainly you can be allergic to natural ingredients as well, so they can cause food allergies. And they're probably going to be more expensive to manufacture, as you can imagine, because
You actually have to farm it.
Yes, and so the supply is also variable, depending on how the crops are that year, what have you. And you pick up one Dorito versus another, they could look different. Now, would that change how you feel about eating them? I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
You are a picky eater,
I know.
Victoria Rose. You would absolutely.
I know, but I really do read the labels. Like I will never let my kids have Fruit Loops.
Great.
I buy like the natural kind, and I see other countries that have like a different version, and the colors are more subdued, but they're
still there?
Yes.
Yeah. And in Europe, in fact, they've banned many of the food dyes that we use here in the United States. So I actually think this is amazing that we're doing this. The FDA has said some kids may be sensitive to it, but there have been links to ADHD, hyperactivity. There have been links for the older dyes to cancer. There's certainly allergic reactions that can occur. And if they're being banned in other parts of the world, why are we still using them here, especially if they're petroleum-based?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the FDA basically says the science is inconclusive. It doesn't conclude that they're bad, but just because it doesn't conclude that they're bad doesn't mean they're good.
25 seconds left in this segment. I have a quick question. Make me smarter. What are things I should be looking out for that are clear, big red flags on a label?
So you want to shop the outside of the store, not the middle. You want to look at the number of ingredients. If it's more than 5, then that's usually a warning sign. You want to look at ingredients you don't recognize the name of, like high fructose corn syrup. It's not something you would cook with at home. And then of course you want to look at the front to make sure it doesn't say anything like color added, dyes added. And if you see red number, blah, 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 or blue number blah, 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 that definitely has an artificial color. So try to reach for the natural alternative.
Why, when I pick up a bottle of wine, it says grapes. I'm like, that's it. One ingredient. No, kidding. Well, it's really interesting. A lot of people are reading labels a lot more often, especially, moms, dads, we're looking at healthier alternatives for
Where there's
kids.
even apps that can help you read them and interpret them. So
You
can
have
think
that.
about
Yeah,
downloading
Yucca, Y-U-K-A.
Yeah.
It helps me so much.
Yeah, and it helps you pick out sort of healthier choices. But we have to be mindful about food and food choices. That's really the message.
It's true. Dr. Coley, thank you so much. We appreciate it.